my name is Emma Jean. Welcome back to my channel. So for this week, I'm going to be going over some yoga, of course, but I feel like I want it to be a little bit different. I was trying to do some editing where half of the screen, or like in a box, would be me telling you how to get into those certain poses, make it more personal, where the other side would be me actually doing the poses. So it's going to be two different videos of me talking, and then the other one would be just me showing. And I feel like it's something different and I want to try it out, and it's a lot of editing, so it will definitely take me a while, but I think this will be a good idea. For this week, I wanted to go over lower back, and I feel like that's a very common one that a lot of people like to look up for. So lower back meaning if they are feeling a lot of stress down there, or if they're feeling pain. And it's common because I feel like a lot of people are sitting a lot, especially for work, so all the tension starts to really go down there, the lower back, the hips, and whatnot. And one more thing before you say anything, I didn't make this bed for you. I totally just made the side that you guys can see, and the other half is totally a complete mess. So you're welcome, and we will get into it. And if you see me looking down, I have it all written out on here just because I don't want to forget. I don't have it necessarily memorized, and I feel like these are the best for your lower back. There's so many more that you can add, that you can even take out too, and you definitely don't need to use all of these. There's a lot more different ones as well. And also another thing too is that the way that I do lead you to the poses is not necessarily the way that you have to do them. I am just there for guidance. I'm just there to sort of explore yourself, explore your body, see what works for you. Also, just to keep in mind when I am guiding you through this, that's all it is. It is a guide, and I know I am a teacher and I'm certified and all that, but the real thing about this is that in yoga, it's more about how you feel and your expression of yourself. So you can see me and other teachers sort of tell you how to get into pose, but just know that you don't have to exactly do that. You can do your own modifications. You can back out if you want to. You can go more than what I've told you, but this is sort of just a way of how to get into these poses safely. So we will get started first. Child's pose. So with this posture, of course, be on a soft surface. You can be on carpet if you want to, maybe on wood. Just make sure you do have a blanket or some sort where you don't feel the ground. It's not too hard on your joints. And from here on child's pose, you would bring your big toes to touch and send your knees out wide and reach your fingertips towards the top of your mat. This is really good for your lower back. Usually a pose that is done in the beginning of a yoga class as well, really awakening the body, your lower back, your shoulders. And when you're in this, you really want to push your fingertips forward, really reach out. And another way you can go into this pose still working on your lower back is you can do a reverse namaskar. So that is when you bring your hands to a prayer grip and you bend your elbows back behind your so your palms reach to your shoulder blades and your thumbs are pressing into your cervical spine and your neck. Sorry to get technical over here. So for number 2, I have cat and cow. I love this. I integrate this into basically each of my classes in the beginning as well. Basically after child's pose, I'll go right into cat and cow. To get into cow pose, I usually would guide students to reach their belly down to your mat and the crown of your head up to the ceiling, really arch back through your spine. And another way that I like to even further the stretch is to point your toes down into your mat. And then with cat pose, you would actually arch your back up to the sky, to the ceiling, and you would send your gaze into your navel, sort of just looking down into your belly, maybe even your chest, just doming up through your spine a lot. And from here, I would like to switch my feet from on my toes to straighten them out. I would do a few rounds of that. So inhale, cow pose, exhale, cats. And you can do a couple more rounds on your own. You can use your breath to movement. You can also let students know that if their hips do feel a little tight here, you may rock your hips side to side, maybe forward and back, and even with your palms too, especially if we're working on hand inversions of some sorts. It's a good idea to flip your palms upside down, maybe to the side, the other way around, and that will also stretch out your wrists. The third one is Sphinx pose. Some teachers or students will also know this as Cobra Pose. you really have to keep your feet, the tops of your feet, pressed down into the ground. You're really pressing. You're not using any of your glute muscles for this. It's all about your lower back. And this is very good because this also straightens your back a lot. It is a pose where you push your palms into the earth while also lifting up your heart space. You're using that strength of your lower back muscles there. Something here I also like to do is, if you feel comfortable, to hold it. Just hold it for a while. Once you let go, you will have that stiff feeling, and that's completely normal, but it is just so good for your back because usually we're actually bending it the other way. We are always slouching down. So to really do that opposite motion to the other way is so good for you. So this is another one that I really love. I really love lower back yoga poses. So these are absolutely my favorite. And for number 4, I have seated spinal twist, or also known as half Lord of the Fishes pose. I know it's a freaking mouthful. You're just sitting down, you cross one leg over the other. Say you take your right leg over your left and you take your left elbow on the outside of your right knee, twist over to your right. From here, I've seen people lift their hand up. Sometimes they push it down. I feel like when I do push mine down, I do get a deeper stretch, and I do like that. After I do twist to the right, I will do another twist just to even out my spine, straighten out my legs, stretch it out, my back, do the other side. So then take my left leg over my right, same thing. Take the outside of my right elbow over on the left side of my knee, twist to the left, breathe for a couple moments, rest your left hand behind your glute, maybe twist over and go on with the other side, twist, as leaving your legs the same. For the 5th one, I have bridge pose, and I've actually included this in one of my other videos for the one for good poses for beginners, and I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth with this because with bridge you can also stay in a very long time. With this, you are laying on the ground and you have both knees bent. Your knees are facing the sky or the ceiling, and you want to face your hands with your palms face down onto the ground or the mat and reach your fingertips towards your heels. So you want to be able to tickle your fingertips towards the back of your feet on your heels. If you cannot feel that, just bring it in closer to your glutes. And once you get to that position, you lift your hips up to the ceiling. I do like this to be more of a restorative posture. So what I like to tell my students in my practices, especially since I have this at the end of class, I tell students to push down through their feet and to squeeze their legs rather than squeeze your glutes. And for the last one, the 6th one, I have supine or reclined supine twist. I have it in a couple options just because it can be really tense if you do the regular supine. So I've also included this in yoga beginners, and I will show how I do that for the supine. First, I like to send your left leg long, tuck your right knee up and into your chest, flex your toes towards your face. Take a breath in, exhale, supine twist. Guide your right knee over your left side. Stack your hips on one another, melt your shoulders down, then gaze to your right. And then from there, you would go on to the other side. I like to tuck both knees into your chest to neutralize out your spine, rock side to side. And then you send your left leg long, tuck your left knee up and into your rib cage, flex your toes to your face, take a breath in, exhale, supine twist, bring your right knee over to your left side. Again, stack your hip on one another, melt your shoulders down, then gaze to your left. And I have the option for reclined supine twist. Basically, you just bring your knees in both together, and then you just shift it over to your right, then shift it over to your left. So those are the 6 lower back poses that I really think are very helpful. And again, there are way more than the ones that I have mentioned, but I feel like these are the ones that are probably my favorite. All right, so I hope you liked this video. If you do have any questions, let me know. If you want to see something, let me know, and I will see you in my next video.